Hello?
Well, hello. Goodness.
I feel like I had to do like the intro. Sorry.
I got to like eat the screen there. What's going on, man? Do you have dinner yet?
I apparently not. We just watched this last night, Lord Cash. Sorry to do the interruption, but it has a like interruption. It has a like broad private piece as soon as it starts off. So that was very iconic. So I figured I'd do it myself. But
there you go. Get you some ice cream, I guess. Well, I just finished watching it today, so I feel you kind of waiting until the last moment to kind of get the show watch. So welcome everybody to the New York Nerd Show. This is the iStream Ustream channel, portion of the New York Nerd Show. I am Lord Cash. I'm being brought together with you tonight with AllThatPat. And we're going to be talking about Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
We certainly are. That's one of the most iconic movies of the 1980s for sure. A very important piece of history where we might not see us ever replicated again because we had studios, Warner Brothers, Disney, MGM, all coming together for the common cause of putting out one of the best cartoon animation movies.
Yep. Since this is a movie from our childhood, we figured that we would bring in some children of the now time frame to kind of have them look back to see what they thought of this movie. This movie came out in 1988.
Yeah.
So roughly, it's the same time frame as they are old, as if, when we were their age, this would be about the same time frame that we would have watched if we went to the theaters to do that. So I will go ahead and let you introduce your portion.
This is the one and only Cece, my niece. How's it going, Cece?
I'm good.
Yeah, we watched this movie last night, and we can't wait to hear what you think about it. This is our second movie that we've seen, also with live action people being a part of cartoon world.
That's true. That is true.
All righty. And then we're also being joined by my daughter, Allie. Welcome to the program, Allie. Can you hear me okay?
She is speechless. Wow. It happens to the best of us.
This is like the first time this has ever happened, I swear.
Oh, there she is.
Let's see if I can go ahead and get her on board.
She's very concerned right now.
Oh.
Allie, you there? I think she's there, but the mic is live, I think.
Well, I know we're working on some technical challenges, but one of the things that when they came together to make this movie, they did have some technical challenges as well.
Hello?
Welcome, Allie.
We can hear you.
Yes.
So why don't you two talk while I go? I'm gonna step away to see if I can help her out and kind of just set up the show. So I'm gonna step away for just a moment.
Absolutely. So, Cece, you saw it last night with us. What were like some of your initial thoughts? Because we asked you about, first of all, what does the word frame mean and who framed Roger Rabbit? And you gave a pretty good definition for it. What was he being framed for?
He was being framed, well, for he was being framed because the person who I think it was who killed the person, I don't know what his name was, but he met Eddie. He met him at the show thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, at the Ink and Paint Club. Yeah, it was R.K. Maru, or I'm sorry, it was Marvin Acme, who was like he's the guy that was making all these cartoons, and also like he had like the Joy Buzzer. Remember that? Like, he had all like the little fake toys. He had like the ink, the disappearing, reappearing ink, and he had the Joy Buzzer.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember that.
Now, have you ever played around with any kind of like little gag toys before? Like, have you ever had like the fake gum or anything like that?
I don't think so. I don't. Not that I remember of. No, not that I know of.
I'll
I
have to
don't
make a
think so.
special note and I'll try to trick you with something pretty soon. Your birthday's coming up. You might get a piece of fake dog poop or some bad tasting gum or something. I don't know. So what do you like? So like we saw this movie and like you got to see Roger Rabbit in the very beginning. They had like the opening cartoon, right, when he was like chasing after Baby Herman. What were your guys' thoughts? Cece and Allie, did you guys enjoy the like the opening cartoon point when he's chasing around Baby Herman in the kitchen?
Well, I thought that was for a second. I thought that was gonna be a whole movie, but then I thought of it and I was like, this is too short to be the whole movie. But I was like I was kind of like I was kind of it was kind of funny. I wasn't expecting it when it ended and he started talking like an older person.
Hey, what do you mean? Get out of my way! I got moving through here. Look out, toots! Right, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, you don't expect that when he's like, "Goo goo gaga cookie. I want cookie. Get out of my way!"
Yeah, all of a sudden he's smoking cigars, right?
Exactly.
What did you think, Allie?
First I want to clarify, due to technical issues, I'm gonna be over here with my dad.
So go ahead. What did you think of the?
I thought it was
cartoon?
actually kind of stupid because, like, when Roger Rabbit got into the dishwasher and he got flung out, there was water around, and I'm like, bruh, get into the water! Like, it's just water!
Yeah, but that's part of the cartoon element.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen because it's a cartoon, and
yeah, but it looked very dangerous, and I'm like, how are you not just?
It's a tune. Tunes don't, are they
never lived, so they'll never gonna. They never lived, so they're not gonna die. Easy as that.
So you girls are telling us that you have never like climbed onto the refrigerator by standing on pieces of bread while knives are flying across the kitchen?
No, I have never even been on my refrigerator. I can't even get to my refrigerator.
I'll show you how.
Loaves of bread. You've got to stack the bread. That's all it is.
You also need a little bit of a cuckoo clock next to it that you can, pendulum swing to get up to the top of the refrigerator. That's the key thing is the pendulum swing.
Okay, one, I'm pretty sure I would break the cuckoo clock and smash everything.
And don't forget about the soap. You have to get running start and
bubbles are very important.
Yes.
Oh, and don't forget you need a lot of dangerous equipment everywhere,
like knives.
Yes.
Lots of knives.
Lots of knives.
Well, I gotta say, Lord Cash, that's your daughter. You can keep track of her. I mean, I could technically help keep track of Cece, but I can't speak for flying knives and bubble of soap. But
we'll rely on the cat to watch. Be our watch cat.
Yes.
She will watch me. She will.
Everybody, Cece's cat.
So making the debut, yeah. So once, like, so we Cece had said, you two, you thought that was going to be the whole movie at points. Then we get into the actual meat and potatoes of the movie itself, where we learn about the movie studio and all the different goings on between Eddie, RK Maroon, and all other human characters. Did you though notice any cartoon characters that were kind of walking around the human world that kind of stood out to you?
Yes, I did. So when in one of the scenes, so if you remember one of the scenes where Eddie was falling down, there was Mickey and Bugs Bunny.
When he's falling from the building, right?
Yeah. And I'm like, and he also, and Eddie actually said, "What's up, Doc?" to one of the characters, which is actually Bugs Bunny's.
Oh yeah, I remember when all of the characters just started coming out of the truck, and like and then Dumbo like flew up into the like window.
Yep.
And he works for Peanuts.
Yeah.
I remember that joke. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then my dad was pointing out a lot of characters, and I liked the part where we saw all the little brooms.
Oh,
Yeah,
from the Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Yeah. And you even had a guy with the saxophone actually playing the music from Fantasia. There's actually quite a few characters. You had the hippo, you had the ostrich, and I'm not sure if the alligator was there too from Fantasia. So you had those on screen. We saw those there, and we saw a bunch of other ones as well. So it was pretty cool to see all the little mix of stuff there.
Now, as a connection to one of our old episodes, Allie and Cece, did you happen to see Tom walking around in his tuxedo?
Actually, I didn't.
Very early on, when they're in the cartoon studios, he goes strutting across the street, and he's wearing his piano playing tuxedo.
Yeah, and even I have never watched one of the Roger Rabbit little
cartoons.
Yeah, cartoons. And so I was surprised when Jessica came out.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, okay, married to Roger, she's gonna be a rabbit.
Yeah, right. Not her.
Yeah, I thought she was gonna be a small rabbit, maybe wearing to be like that.
Nope.
He's a very tall rabbit.
Had a carrot on it. Maybe Judy Hopps was gonna. Maybe Judy Hopps changed her name.
Now, Lord Cash, you mentioned at the very beginning of this episode how this was such a big movie from when we were the girls' age.
Yep.
Did you see this movie in the theater back when you were a child?
No, this I really didn't venture much to the theater until I was more of the teenager age, which is surprising because that's as big of a movie buff as I am, and as much as I love going to the theater to watching movies. I have a rather large, extensive movie collection, both physical and digital. So I don't know if it was just because I was deprived of it as a young child that I just like give me more. That I never really saw this as a child. It was more of my teenage years that I actually got to see it.
Okay, yeah, because when I was a kid, we saw it, and I remember the theater being absolutely packed. And one of the reasons why I mentioned that, though, Laura Cash, is because Ellie mentioned how she had not seen any of the Roger Rabbit cartoons. When this came out, no one had, because Roger Rabbit as a cartoon character debuted with this movie. However, they had numerous movies that came out after it that had small Roger Rabbit cartoons that played in front of it as kind of a way to get people to come see the movie. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids had the medical one in it.
Yeah.
Dick Tracy had the roller coaster rabbit, or maybe it was Trail Mix-Up. And then maybe it was Rocketeer. There's 3 that were in the theaters. And I remember I wanted to see Dick Tracy only because they had a Roger Rabbit commercial in the beginning of it.
Right.
So I had my neighbor take me, and it was like, pretty much once that was done, I'm like, all right, we can go home. But I ended up liking Dick Tracy. But they used the Roger Rabbit cartoons after this success in order to get kids and families to go back to see them. So you can check it out, Allie and CC. There are, like I said, 3 or 4 other Roger Rabbit cartoons.
Yeah, it's interesting how they using the marketing strategy to actually bring in the actual characters of Roger Rabbit that didn't exist before then.
Right. Now, girls, was there anything in the movie that like you didn't like that kind of caught you off guard? You were kind of like, I don't really care for this. Like, was there anything that kind of stood out, like any of the characters or anything that you didn't like?
Yes, and yes.
You seem opinionated, Allie. Let's start with you.
Okay, the first thing. Well, are you talking like it surprised me? Like I'm off guard. I'm like I don't care about this, and then oh my god, that shocked me.
Sure.
One of the things was that when Mr. Doom, was it?
Oh no, he's Dr. Doom. He went to medical school. Actually, it was Judge Doom. It was Judge Doom. I can't even make that joke right. Yeah.
He when he got rolled over, I thought, okay, he's just gonna die. He's a normal person, and then he's laying there flat. Then he rolls up and becomes a cartoon. So I was just like sitting here like same old Roger Rabbit. And then I'm like, oh my god!
You, Cece, you made a. Go ahead.
And I liked how he just like gets helium. His eyes are like popping out of him, and I'm like, oh my god. And part of me just was singing in my head, oh no, oh no, no. And it was like, oh my god. So I liked how, and just the way that he gets, he takes his hand and turns it into I can't remember if they made it into a saw blade or an axe.
He made a saw blade and an anvil.
Yeah.
Yeah, those two, and I'm like, oh my god. And I'm just like, why? Okay, I felt like Roger could like chew those ropes.
Yeah, at the end.
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
But
He
then he
probably could
probably
have.
break his teeth.
You could have. But very similar to how he can get out of the handcuffs, it has to be funny. So he would only be able to do it if it was funny for him to eat the ropes. So since it wasn't a funny moment, it just didn't work.
Right.
Cece, what are your thoughts on when Judge? What were your thoughts? Go ahead.
I would have just right then and there rescued myself, ditch the other one, be like, peace. Get out of there, get rid of the dip, and just peace.
So, Cece, you actually made a connection last night when we saw that movie, that moment where like Judge Doom gets run over by the steamroller. What were your thoughts about that part when again Judge Doom gets like revealed to be a cartoon?
Oh, well, I said that he looked like that guy from Beetlejuice who was like a paper guy.
It's like hanging there, goes flying into the wall.
Crack thing. That's what he reminded me of. And then when his eyes popped out, I was because when he got rolled over, I was like, oh, he's dead. Then I thought about it. I'm like, this is a cartoon. He can't be dead. So then when his eyes popped out, I was like, that's a little disturbing, but okay.
It's like, remember me, Eddie?
And then how he blew himself up again, that was also very disturbing.
So are you girls going to ever try to inflate yourself with helium? I mean, that may be why people suck on helium. I don't know.
I mean, you're probably going to die.
No, helium would probably kill me.
Oh, wait, yeah, you can put helium in your mouth.
Also, I forgot to say, so here's my question about the Judge Doom. If he is a cartoon, why does he want to eliminate all other cartoons? So if I was there, I would have been like, either you dip yourself, or you let all the other cartoons free.
I just thought about it because he made a dip for all like cartoon characters, and that's why he died in the dip. I was confused about that, and I'm like, why make a dip if you're gonna die in it? But then he made a dip for cartoon characters, and he was one of the cartoon characters.
Also, the dip was like
Reminded me of Sosa.
it was just like, oh my god. It was just so scary, and how he like dipped the squeaky shoe in.
Oh
my! For like 2 minutes, and then like went up. And then my dad told. And then when I saw Eddie running through the dip to stop it, so Roger and Jessica could get free.
That's a good friend.
No, I was saying, wait, I was thinking, like, and I put the clues together that I could have figured out that he was a cartoon on a wall. So here's the thing. Eddie was running through the dip to save Roger. So my dad, Lord Cash, told me the dip isn't poisonous to humans. So when he was dipping the squeaky shoe, he was wearing gloves, which wasn't necessary because it wasn't poisonous to humans. So if he was a real human, he wouldn't have to wear the gloves. And plus, they were like a little like mad scientist gloves where they like curve around. So some of the dip probably went in there. And
That's what they call foreshadowing, or setting up little things like that, so that way to kind of throw you off a little bit and distract you. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why he puts on the gloves when he's getting ready to dip stuff down, and so it's gonna be pretty cool that way.
mm-hmm.
So I do notice that we have an additional guest. BitOfRits has joined us.
Now the party.
So now we have to start over. Everybody, welcome to New York Nerd Show. So I was going to ask you, Lord Cash. We've talked a little bit like what is your favorite moment in this movie?
Oh, mercy! Favorite moment.
I can tell you my favorite moment.
By all means, you go ahead and take this question, and then I will think while you speak.
So my favorite moment was always the Donald Duck, Daffy Duck piano fight inside the Ink and Paint Club. Big fan of both ducks, and I always enjoyed that. That was just like, it was funny. And I talked to Cece last night a little bit about the idea of it reminds me of Tom and Jerry piano fights that they had back in the day, and I can't imagine that. Yeah, it does, right? But I loved it, and as somebody that has now seen so many behind the scenes videos on this and documentaries, like you can actually see like what it was without the cartoons in it, and like actually seeing the pianos like popping up and doing all these special effects, and they had to paint them in it. But yeah, that's my favorite scene. Now BitOfRits, okay. She's out of here. What was your least favorite scene, as you mentioned it, and then Lord Cash, love to hear about your favorite scene.
The girls also what their favorite and maybe least favorite. So start thinking of your answers for that.
I already got mine.
Oh, you already got yours.
Yeah.
So why don't we start with some favorites? So go ahead. I have to think about my favorites still.
So my favorite, well, I have two. Mine was when he drank that drink, and he started to he started to go in the ceiling, and then he went through a glass, and then it made a mark in the curtains and the window.
That's a pretty well-known scene. They had to do that. Maybe AllThatPat can explain it a little better than I can. But they had one chance to do that because they had those curtains and they cut that design out. And they had one shot to remove those curtains, and they did that all in one shot. So they really lucked out that nothing went wrong in their contraption to make it look like he jumped out. But that's a pretty cool scene for sure. What about your second?
So my second one is what was my second? Oh yeah, when Doctor I think it was Dr. Doom. He started knocking on all the walls, and then Roger Rabbit he got so tempted, and then he busted through the wall.
Shave and a haircut.
2 bits.
And it was silly that the detective, like, what's this guy talking about? He's crazy, and he turns and Roger Rabbit's like shaking because he needs to get that energy out of the last part of that song.
Yep.
How about you, Allie?
Yep. What do you think?
My favorite scene was probably when he is falling. My second favorite would have to be
Well, maybe pause for a second. So who's falling?
When Eddie is falling.
Okay, and he what? Well, because he sees the two characters, the Mickey and Bugs Bunny, that part.
Yeah, and when and at first I didn't know that Bugs Bunny and not Bugs Bunny Roger Rabbit was gonna have Disney characters in it, so I'm like, what? And I was like, and when Dumbo came in, I stood up, yelled at my father, and said, "Why the heck is Dumbo in this movie? I'm pretty sure this is Warner Brothers, people."
That's a good point. AllThatPat, I feel like you have some knowledge about that one. You want to share this is the only movie, right? That has.
Hey, I'm not blaming Dumbo. I love Dumbo.
Oh no, she was saying she's just surprised that she saw Disney characters in a movie that was made by a different company. Because usually Disney is very strict about sharing their characters.
It's true. It is true.
So
Minnie and Mickey and that's it.
Yeah.
I'll tag in Lord Cash, who's a huge Disney fan. Can maybe share about this, and also you want to talk about your favorite moment as well.
So yeah, basically, this film came out in 1988, and with that, there was a joint production between Walt Disney Studios. You had Warner Brothers with a lot of the Looney Tunes. And then, as you mentioned, some of the MGM characters, which I believe that you got your Tom and Jerry line of characters.
Yep, and Droopy was in there as well as the bellhop.
You know, as the elevator attendant. So you had these 3 studios coming together. So they each have their own claim to this movie, which is one of the reasons why it took forever for this movie to actually come out. And I think that Disney now kind of has the majority rights to it, I believe. And I only say that just because it's on Disney Plus. So I am making a complete blind leap of faith and on that. I'm jumping.
Other companies are getting their percentages on it. Don't worry.
Exactly. So with that, you thought that that they having the Avengers come together and bringing these different studios together to have this one movie, and in the end, this was, I feel, is even bigger than that, just because you have to have these 3 very large studios from the 80s come through and actually work together. Robert Zemeckis was your director. If you've ever heard of a movie called Back to the Future,
yep.
He directed that one, which also the actor that plays Judge Doom is played by Christopher Lloyd, who is also in Back to the Future.
But he's a good guy.
But he's the good guy. He that one he actually did go to medical school. I mean, to medical school to get a doctorate. So he actually was Doc Brown. So
do we think that there's going to be any movie in the future that they could do this again, bring those 3 big companies?
I don't know, but just because anything is absolutely possible. We've seen, Sony and Disney working together to bring Spider-Man into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You've seen Disney acquire 20th Century Fox and take over those IPs of the various movies that they own now are Disney. Hang on just a second. And so anything is definitely possible. If there is a dollar to be had, yes, Disney, Warner Brothers, all these animated. Now you've got DreamWorks and Pixar. You can definitely do something. It's just whether or not, quote unquote, the studios would be able to put away their pride.
Yeah.
And look towards the fans as well as what's that almighty dollar going to say?
Right.
Well, the important thing about that, though, is to understand that the main characters that drive the story of the movie, they're more isolated. Like having these other characters from Warner Brothers, from Disney, and MGM, they were just window dressing.
Right.
So you'd have to think about whatever movie they make next is why they would even have to have the other characters. As opposed to making a full-blown crossover like Shrek tag teaming with I don't know, Shrek tag teaming with Stitch. Those would be like directly, having to be made with those particular characters. Otherwise, again, like what reason would there be a crossover for characters? I'd love to see it myself, see what they've come up with.
A moment. Well, let's
Say
see
that
what
again.
Allie has to say. Go ahead. Oh, I thought you had your hand raised earlier.
Yes, I've been waiting.
Yes, now it's your turn. Go ahead.
Poor Lord Cash, not going to be able to share his favorite moment. I got your back. Go ahead, Allie, though.
I never got to finish sharing about my favorite moments.
Okay, go ahead. Finish your sentence.
What else do you have?
My other favorite moment was when he thought he found Jessica. But
Go ahead.
it was actually a crazy woman.
Oh, man!
That was a very silly part.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And
Were you surprised? Did you think it was Jessica Rabbit?
No, I did not.
Oh, you knew before you saw her? What about you, Cece? Did you think at first that was Jessica Rabbit?
I thought for a second.
I thought, yeah, me too. I was like, oh, he finally caught her. And it turns and it was not her, that's for sure.
Her body looked like hers, and I was like, oh, that's Jessica. But then she goes,
Oh, man.
But she was gorgeous, let's be honest. I mean,
Hey, everybody needs love.
Lord Cash, would you sneak a smooch?
Sure, why not? Love a little, right?
I
I'm
think-
not be happy about that.
I
From
think
the neck down, she was gorgeous. The face is just.
she's a cartoon. They could always, add some.
He needs a salon. Okay.
She needs a salon.
Yeah, a face, tons of face masks. Like 40 face masks.
All at once.
Line them all up. Maybe 20 at a time. I don't know.
Okay, yeah, that's more like it.
I think that my favorite part was when he was in the bar, when Roger Rabbit was in the bar dancing and singing, and then the record skips and he hits himself with all the pieces.
No pain.
Yeah. That one was a cool extra feature we saw too, and how they did that one. There was like a robot that was doing the motions, and then they drew Roger Rabbit over it. So they were, a machine that was just breaking dishes.
And then they're all like, but then there's just this robot going, and then they're all like, yay!
They got to pretend that's really Roger Rabbit there.
Yep.
They have to have a high point creativity and just to close their eyes, and then they see Roger Rabbit.
Yep, imagine it.
So I don't know if you guys know this, but the voice actor, the guy that did Roger Rabbit's voice, his name was Charles Fleischer, and he did the voice on set, and he would actually wear a full Roger Rabbit costume, as crazy as that might seem, and he would actually stand right off camera. Let me share right here, and he would actually sit and he would do the voice. And so it was just kind of funny. So you could see him.
Yep.
Do you guys see him right here?
No, we do
No.
not see it.
I don't think you shared yours.
Oh, well,
My father just
Uh, Did you
Nope.
have it? It went away.
Yep. Hold on. Let's see. I forgot because I'm not actually one of the hosts this time because I had to log in on a different device. So
Gotcha.
it's right
I'll
over here.
take care of it.
Do you guys see him?
Oh.
So that was the costume he would wear during
Yeah.
the
Pretty
the
silly,
film
huh?
so he can get in character.
He feel
Well,
like
that's not haunt my nightmares.
Eh? I think
So-
that was like a great Halloween costume.
Yep.
yeah. I thought he had like a
I
mask
just
on and everything. I thought he had
Just
like
the
a
ears.
I thought he had like mask on. I was like, that would be sweaty.
Roger.
Oh, I'm sure.
I'll dress up as Jessica Rabbit. Sure. But never.
Never say never.
N-E-V.
I'll pay $100.
Okay.
I'll be honest with you, Allie. I was thinking the same thing. I would dress up like Jessica Rabbit for Halloween, but I don't think I'd ever do Roger.
Yeah, but it'd just be too difficult to do.
Roger, what did he ever do to you?
So,
Your favorite?
pardon?
What was your favorite scene?
So one of my favorite scenes is definitely the 2 bits. I'm always, when I knock on the door, I either knock 2 ways, and I always do the. So at least I do the whole thing so that way, or I will just start it and see if someone's on the other side of the door, and if they do the 2 bits on the back side.
You gotta be careful of that because if it turns out to be a cartoon on the side, he's gonna burst through that door and cause lots of damage.
That's okay. I'll get a new door.
What if it was Kool-Aid Man? He would
Then it
definitely burst through that
Oh my
wall.
god, he's gonna take down the whole door.
Yeah, like I said, it'll help me expand my living room then.
But then instead of getting you a new door, he'll just pour you some.
This man has already punched 2 holes into our doors in this household. So it's not going to do anything.
In my defense, they started it.
Right.
So
How about
Born.
least favorite? I know exactly my least favorite part of the whole movie.
and what was that?
What is that?
With the poor shrew that gets dipped
I know.
at the end, towards the end, when Judge Doom is threatening
What did the shoe ever do
the
to
detective.
you?
Yeah, and he was such a cute, sad shoe.
I know. I was thinking, just shush, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, he
all you
was.
gotta
He was.
You just have to. He just kept on speaking.
He caught the attention.
And I was like, just shush, and you'll be fine. Okay, I'm not trying to kill you. Just shush, and you'll be fine. Okay. That's all you have to do.
Obey the law if I have to kill you.
And I think too, it speaks to like just cartoons, right? This character has no connection to anything else, but just, and he didn't even talk, but just the expression and the sound effects. It gets you right in the heart,
Punches you right in the
gut.
on the blood pumper.
Yes.
It definitely establishes that Judge Doom is not a nice person.
No.
If I was right then and there, I'd be like, get out of this country, get out of this state, get out of this continent, and go into space where Mars to Neptune, get out of my sight.
You are very passionate about this.
What if you could see till Neptune?
Neptune.
Neptune.
Ah.
So how about,
Oh yes, Tune. I get it. I
get it. Okay, I didn't get it at first. I think the creepieest one is
I
when he
wasn't
gets
trying to do it.
flattened. I know you didn't even know it, but you're like making puns here. So when Judge Doom gets flattened, I would say that's the creepiest part for me because I was
I said it was disturbing.
very disturbing.
Part the creepiest, the creepiest, the creepiest.
Yeah, that seems would.
Okay, so when he like humiliates himself, and when he just like pops his eyes, like, and then his voice goes from and then it goes
Okay, don't scream to the top of your lungs.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take a mute control over here.
No, I'm on mute control. Every time you talk, I'm gonna mute it.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna mute everybody when everybody else talks. Shush. When I talk.
How about you, AllThatPat? What would you say is your least favorite or creepiest moments in the movie?
I mean, it sounds kind of like cheap way out, but I don't dislike any of this movie. I mean, it was a little
like, but that
I know, but like I guess if there's anything I didn't like, it would be kind of what the girls were talking about. The whole like when he's like wobbling back and forth after the helium inflation and his eyes pop out. I mean, I definitely didn't like when I was a kid and they talk like this and his eyes dagger out.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. Are we talking about the? I just watched it yesterday, so you know my adult brain is fine with everything. Are we talking about let's rewind? 30 years when I'm watching this in the theater, and how I'm reacting to it then.
We watched this yesterday, and I was still sad about the shoe. So.
Right. Well, when
What was that?
Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yes.
All right. When I saw that as a kid, there's the scene with Large Marge. And if you haven't seen that before, anyway, it's this like nighttime trucker woman, and she's basically haunted. And she has she's telling Pee-wee a story about the mysterious Large Marge. And it was literally one of those things where she looks normal and she turns her head towards Pee-wee and goes, "Bah!" and makes this like really scary animated face. What reminded me at the time was when Judge Doom's eyes poke out of his head. It was that same kind of big reveal, and both of those things kind of freaked me out as a kid. So that would be really the only moment I could think of that I didn't like then, and right now I still don't enjoy it. But ultimately, the movie's great. Like, there's almost nothing I don't like.
Yeah.
I think you're taking it too literally when I say didn't like, as in that you did not like that part of the movie versus what struck you as as something that was not pleasing part of the movie. In what I'm trying to say.
No, and that's the eyes. The eyes freaked me out.
I know. I'm just saying. I don't mean as in you feel like it should be taken out of the movie or anything to that extent.
Oh God, no.
Sorry. Go ahead, Lord Cash.
I was trying to think of like for myself.
Well, when those like Snow White birds come, that was like freaky.
The Snow White birds at the very beginning.
Like,
no,
hi Eddie.
Amazing.
Hi Eddie.
But
hi,
just
Eddie.
all the cars. Then when he's driving his car into Toonville, I don't know. I was trying to think of something silly.
I love that Benny the Cab drove a car. That was always a funny moment too.
Oh yeah.
Move over, I'm driving.
Yeah.
I actually thought that I saw him grow arms and started driving.
He used his wheel arms. His hands were his wheels.
Oh, I thought he grew arms. I thought I saw him grow arms.
Oh, they're after us. Lord Cash, as you're answering too, you obviously have been to Disneyland out in California. Isn't there a Roger Rabbit ride out there?
Oh. Yeah, there's in Toontown out in Disneyland, they do have the Roger Rabbit ride. It's what's called and it features Benny the Cab.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, that's what you ride in.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I went to Disney World.
Yeah, in Florida. We'll have to go to Disneyland sometime.
Yeah, it's out over in Disneyland. So it's very, very cool. It's a Roger Rabbit cartoon spin that they do for that, and it's really cool. And I'll show a picture of it here in just a moment.
Yeah,
that we kind of.
Or is it like a roller coaster kind of feel?
What's that?
Is it like a teacup kind of feel or a roller coaster kind of feel?
Neither. It's more of your it's a track ride.
Okay.
So like your Winnie the Pooh, your Snow White Scary Adventure, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, those type of, where you're in a vehicle and it just kind of runs you through the motions of the storyline.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I've seen this.
So
Yeah, I remember when I first worked at Disney. I worked at Disney World. Oh, it's awesome. I was so excited when I actually saw Roger Rabbit outside because he was one of the characters that wasn't being used at the time. Him and Launchpad McQuack were two big ones, and I just remember when I saw him, I got a picture with him. I was freaking out because you don't see him very often. So I'm excited that Disneyland still has something.
yeah, nowadays Launchpad does make quite a few visits over at Disney's Animal Kingdom over in Dino Land, because they're over there at the Restaurantosaurus. They do have Donald Duck's like birthday bash. So you have Launchpad, you have Scrooge McDuck that come out, and again, this was really big. This was a couple years ago, and it was maybe a year or so after the reboot and relaunching of DuckTales over on the Disney Channel. And so I've always been a huge, DuckTales, and seeing Launchpad in the parks. I literally like screamed out loud as a cast member of worked for Disney. I saw Darkwing Duck as well.
Oh, that's cool.
And I like lost it. I was like, "It's Darkwing Duck!"
You fangirled.
Fangirling right now. But also I was a fan of DuckTales myself. We watched DuckTales all the time.
Yep. It was one of the times we would actually sit down and watch the entire series together when it was on.
Yeah, we would watch episode by episode by episode. We finish one, we wait for the next, watch it, wait for the next, watch it.
So definitely seeing Roger Rabbit inside the parks is one of those rarities that you do get to see. And if you do get to see it, it's definitely something special. You got to gravitate toward it.
Very cool.
Treat you
Now,
have to talk about.
Allie and Cece, what character that you saw were you most excited about? Dumbo. And was that for you the same, Allie, or a different character that you were most excited about?
It was not Roger Rabbit. Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse, Daisy, and I can speak for my father. I know one of them was Tinkerbell.
Okay.
Yeah, at the very end.
Tinkerbell, because I'm gonna let my dad explain this one for Tinkerbell.
So technically, Tinkerbell should not be there.
Why is that?
What year did this movie take place?
It's in the 50s.
1947.
That's when it was set in. So it was made later, but yes, it was set in
Right.
1947.
So it was made in 1988. It was released in 1988, but the time frame is Hollywood, Los Angeles, that time frame of 1947. The movie Peter Pan,
It came out after.
Tinkerbell, did not come out in theaters till 1953.
Yeah,
Oh, drop the mic, Lord Cash.
they lived in Toonland and were just pulled because, maybe she applied to be a character on some other cartoons and just, they passed her by.
She hadn't been discovered yet.
Yes.
I'm thinking maybe they made it so they were like, who's that? Who's that? What? Who's
Very
that?
It's a
possible.
cartoon.
And then,
Surprise.
oh, that's
Can I
it.
share one thing that made me laugh that I didn't notice ever before?
No.
Too bad. So when the first time you ever go into the offices of Valiant and Valiant, you see some newspaper clippings on the table, and
Yep.
I don't know if it's up right now.
Yes.
In my head, I thought it was hilarious that Goofy was cleared of spy charges.
Yep.
Also, Huey, Dewey, and Louie.
I
Yeah,
didn't really get that. Why? What? Just because he could have been a spy, that's what that was funny, or is there a nod to something?
I don't think it was a nod to anything at all. I think it was just literally what could be the most ridiculous thing that's in a newspaper clip to get your attention. And it's like Goofy spy charges. Why not? So I don't think it was anything particular. It made me crack up because I would never expect Goofy to be anything intelligent, to be completely honest with you.
So now 2 things. One is, so Allie, how familiar are you with the Looney Tunes characters? It sounds like you know them because you know of Bugs Bunny. So you're familiar with like Sylvester, Tweety, Yosemite. Who else did we see?
Minnie and Mickey.
Oh, Porky.
Looney Tunes. Oh, and Daffy Duck.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there was.
Pretty familiar or not quite?
Pretty familiar.
Okay, because I know Cece is not familiar really with the Looney
No.
Tunes. So I'm excited to
No.
when Space Jam comes out, because it's all Looney Tune characters and they're remaking Space Jam.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to watch the early version and compare it to the new version when that comes out, I think.
Yeah, I definitely have not really exposed her that much to Looney Tunes.
They're not really relevant anymore, it feels like. I rarely see
I saw somebody at school who had a Looney Tunes shirt.
So
like you don't see cartoons around, right?
Yeah.
my 6-year-old, the one thing that I love with like Disney Plus is it has all of those old Mickey cartoons on there, and he like watches all of them. It's crazy ridiculous. Like he, the one with the ghost, the one with this and that, of building the boat. He watches all of those old school from like the 40s and 50s, and he watches them and he loves them. I wish that, I don't know if it's maybe on. I'm trying to think of if like there's a streaming service that actually has all of the Looney Tunes programs on it, like Paramount Plus or something of that nature. That
We'll have to look.
Yeah, I do have. I purchased. Shocker! This I bought a movie to get a Funko Pop. It was Bugs Bunny in his top hat, and it was the diamond version, so he's all glittered.
And just to answer your question, not to interrupt the story, but just real brief, HBO Max carries Looney Tunes.
Okay.
Okay.
That makes sense because that is that whole Warner Brothers section of it. So by doing that, I got the like the Bugs Bunny collection. So there's like 60 of his cartoons. So I've got like digital versions of those that I was able to load into like either Vudu or iTunes. I don't remember where it got stored. So I'm being told Voodoo by my fact checker. So they're there, and I tried to like let them watch it, because they're I think they're just Bugs Bunny only, which the Bugs Bunny cartoons are fantastic. But again, having some of your Daffy Ducks, your Yosemite Sam, Elmer Fudd, your Wile E. Coyote with Roadrunner, like those, that whole library.
Oh yeah, Pookie.
Really kind of fans it out and giving a nice little blend of everything Looney Tunes.
Can I say something?
Yes,
Sure.
go ahead, Allie.
Don't you dare.
Continue.
Sorry, I saw my dad's mouse on the mute mic.
Well, because I have that cough right there that I'm about to go, and I don't want to do it live on mic.
Oh, well.
Go ahead. What do you want to say?
Me and my brother, here's something we love. So they redid Animaniacs, and then it's on Hulu. So in one of the episodes, Dot starts singing about
Go ahead.
about how women got their right to vote.
Okay.
And she's like, "Thanks, ladies. Now I have the right to vote." And then like all the ladies are like, and she's like, "What?" And one of the girls they tell her, and she goes, "What?" And she says she's being informed that cartoons do not have the right to vote. So she goes like everywhere. She posts there. So she goes on to your YouTube stuff, like your
internet stuff.
Yeah.
internet.
Yeah.
She makes flyers, and one of the things that like stopped the whole song because it was all a song. March, and they go to a person, and they're like, breaking news for a tiny dog puppy lady singing at Congress. And they're like, and then one part of the song, she's like, someone got in a time with Tweety Bird, hear our voices as we sing. And I was laughing. We actually rewatched the series like 5 times.
I wonder if they did make a new Roger Rabbit, if the Animaniacs would be part of it. Because as we mentioned before, like what would they actually ever do to have all these interactions of characters come back together like this original movie? So
Roger Rabbit. I wanted a Warner Brothers Animaniacs movie straight out of the cover, just like that reboot. Steven Spielberg directing it, draw them. Give me a movie. I want a movie about the Animaniacs. Give me a Yakko, Wacko, and a Dot.
And a Dot.
Animaniacs at all? No, yeah. We watched a couple episodes, AllThatPat and myself, but we haven't gotten through the new episodes yet.
We got the games.
Yes, we'll have to finish going through them for sure.
Of course you will.
Of course. So, as we come to our time tonight, what would you ultimately give Who Framed Roger Rabbit if you had to score out of 10 carrots?
Ooh,
What would you give Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
10 carrots?
no, how many yet?
I give it. You asked me this.
I did ask you.
And I'd give it a 7 carrots out of 10 carrots.
7.
Not a bad score.
Good.
I give it 6
Carrots.
right in the middle. I was gonna be at lowest. I'll give it a 4. Highest, maybe an 8.
Why?
That's a
such
big swing.
What?
Well, we're gonna call it average 6.
Out of a 4 and an 8.
So right in the middle, you get a 6.
Now, would you say that's a good score or not such a great score?
It's in the middle.
Is in the middle?
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you wish was different?
Just I wish the animation of the cartoon characters was like just a little more fresh. The animation just made it a little more.
Yeah, I felt like I could really see like the in-betweenness of their hand and their animation.
Yeah. It
And now,
was,
mind you, this animation was like 30 years ago.
I know.
So you're
Fresh eyes.
you were wishing that it was more of a current version of it with the current styles and
Yeah.
I wonder if like they were able to like take the cells that have all of the the drawings on it, if they could redraw them with like today's animation style, how that would actually look. And obviously it would take a lot of time and effort to do that, especially there are certain scenes that have no animation in it at all, so you can pretty much leave that alone. But if you can kind of maybe even like utilize computers to help with the drawing and the animation of that, if that's something how that would look.
They
Right.
should do like the characters, like how old they are now, and like do their voices.
make them older, make them 30 years older.
Yeah.
Now, what year exactly did this come out? Remind me.
1988.
Yeah.
88. So, how many years old is it?
It's 33.
33. Did they do a 30th anniversary that you know of?
They did a 25th issue on DVD and Blu-ray, but I don't believe they did a 30 because again, it's still one of those movies that's kind of locked up a little bit in legal stuff that I would imagine that they really don't get to
So
do.
they don't want everybody knowing about it.
Now, how about you, Lord Cash and AllThatPat? What would you rate it?
Oh, easily a 9 or a 10.
Wow, 10.
Wow.
I think it's the perfect movie for what it is.
7.
I'd do an 8.
Okay.
Yeah, that 8.5.
Definitely.
8 and like 5 slices.
And 5 slices.
Yeah.
Oh.
8.5.
Oh.
Now, I know, Allie, you said that, if you could have any other cartoon characters added in, it would be Animaniacs. How about you, Cece?
Well, like I said, I never watched any of the Looney Tunes.
Yep, but what are your current favorite cartoons now that you wish could have been added? Could added if they had made it today?
Favorite cartoons? I mean, maybe. Let's see.
I know it's My Little Pony, right?
Maybe.
Some Care Bears.
Uncle Grandpa.
I know.
What'd you say, AllThatPat?
Uncle Grandpa.
Yeah,
Oh,
let's do
Uncle Grandpa?
Uncle. Yes, Uncle.
I'd go with
Grandpa.
Powerpuff Girls.
We watched that one before, Cece.
Yeah,
I have another one.
Oh, you have another one. Go ahead.
Kim Possible, Ron Stoppable, Phineas, Ferb, Candace.
That's a whole lot of cartoons. All right. Well, it sounds like overall good reviews. Middle score for Allie, but
Yeah. So I think here's the question. Regardless of what you thought of the movie, whether it was a low score at moments or a high score at moments, would you recommend this to your friends, say at school? Say, hey, I just watched this movie called Who Framed Roger Rabbit with my family. It's on Disney Plus. You should go watch it. Or would you say, don't do it? Would you recommend it?
Some of my friends, I have one really popular friend. Her name is
Me. It's me. It's me.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to say it. It's me.
Her name is Madison. And she's very
That's not your name, Cece. I'm very confused.
I know.
all right. Let's continue.
So would you recommend this movie to your friend?
No.
Yes. No, you wouldn't?
No, she's very new. She would probably hate this movie and probably for recommending it to me, probably hate me.
What about you, Cece? Would you recommend this to your friends at school?
I don't know because none of my friends told me what they like.
Yeah, but now you can tell you like, hey, check out this movie that I just saw. You really check it. It's got like Disney characters and Looney Tunes.
My friend Serena, yeah, I think she would be very confused because she doesn't watch like old movies that much. Like I watch a lot of old shows. And I asked her a question about one of them, and she's like, I don't know how to answer that question because I don't watch old shows.
So it might not be relevant, you're saying. But
yeah,
I mean, would either of you watch this movie again?
I would.
You would? So that's a good sign. What about you,
Well,
Allie?
let's wait 5 years.
Okay.
You guys are teenagers now. That's a scary thought.
And then we can review it again.
Yes, we can come back to this.
And now it's downhill.
Would you
maybe
watch it
have
then?
the history of the Looney Tunes franchise
Yeah,
by then.
we have to have the Looney Tunes like bouncing around our home.
Yeah. So what's next on our list for future shows? Is it Space Jam?
For this group?
Yes, for this group.
I believe we're looking at possibly doing Space Jam.
Or Mortal Kombat, I thought. I thought Mortal Kombat was what the girls wanted to watch.
So yeah, but that I believe that's not scheduled to possibly July. But again, depending on what our schedule looks like, we're still kind of plugging some stuff in. I know we've got the new Loki series, which, by the way, have you heard?
Yes.
That Wednesday is the new Friday.
And
Yes.
bird's the word.
Well, that nerd is the word. Yes, we are aware of that as well.
No, bird is the word. Bird is the word.
Nerd is the word? That's what I keep hearing, is nerd is the word.
Nerd is the word.
That's what I should have said.
Bird is the word.
So
Bird is the word.
So yeah, it's coming out a little earlier, so that
they bumped it up 2 extra days, and Loki will now be coming out on Wednesday. So that means if we're going to keep our same schedule, that only gives us a day and a half to watch and do our review, which I'm kind of excited because we'll be like right there at the curve with everybody versus kind of being on the back end of it. But so we've got that slated, and then we do have Space Jam as well as the new one for Space Jam Legacy. which is going to be hitting HBO Max as well as theaters on August 5th. So we've got those set up for us as well. And I do
And the Mario movie.
Oh, that's right.
Mario
movie.
The 90s Mario movie at some point, the live action. But I do think the Space Jam will be maybe 2 episodes. One for the original and then one to compare what we think.
Correct. Now, here is something highly amusing. If I have my actors correct.
Yes, you do.
So here's our little synergy moment here. The gentleman who plays Eddie Valent, is played by Bob Hoskins. Rest in peace. He plays Mario in the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Wait, what is the Super Mario movie?
You,
I was never.
One second.
What year was that made?
that is an excellent question. I'm doing fact checking right now.
Oh, Lego.
Hey, you asked BitOfRits? Let me go to my Mario movie section of the game room.
Yes.
Super Mario Brothers, the movie, was made.
Glare on there.
I can see it now.
Yeah, there you go. See, it's live action. There's real people.
Yeah, so the Super Mario Brothers movie came out in 1993.
1993.
So that was actually.
I'm going to bust this open just for you. My sealed copy.
You're
very lucky.
Years after this movie that we just watched came out.
Real big.
We could always do a live action and then compare to the cartoon version of the series, the Mario series that came out.
Oh, it would be not even close.
Why? Which one's better?
Oh, we'll save that comment for our review. Yeah. But I am noticing we are running low on time, so I want to make one request to everybody watching right now. I've been waiting for all episode for this.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Whether you're watching on Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube, please subscribe, hit that bell, get the notification, thumbs up, and all those things. Now I'll have that forever on the internet, maybe doing my terrible Roger Rabbit.
You speak Spanish because we have a comment, and I presume it's family friendly, but if it's a family friendly comment, you could add that in.
I want to say
Queso McCheeser.
Don't forget the McCheeser.
Okay, so you want the full sentence?
Sure, but you can add it. Show it on the feed.
I think it is something about recommending this tremendous show.
That's a good idea. And then I do want to point out one thing. If you ever do get to go to Disney Hollywood Studios here in Orlando, there is actually a poster billboard inside Hollywood Studios of studio that has Baby Herman, Roger Rabbit, and Jessica Rabbit right on it. It's near the Grauman's Chinese Theater over by Hollywood and Vine. It's on the back side of that.
Baby Herman made it.
There you go. He made it big. He's on the billboard. So, all right.
Show it.
All right. So it's time to wrap things up.
Wait, can I make a shout out to one of my friends?
Yes, feel free.
Make it quick.
So today I'm gonna give a shout out to Morgan Moore. She's one of my best friends, and I told her that I was gonna do this tonight, and I hope she's watching right now. So, also, I don't know if her mom is watching this, but if she is watching this, shout out to you guys.
All right.
We have another shout out on the stream on the comments.
That's
Okay, apparently, Joe thinks this movie is 8 carats worthy. So.
Yes.
It's
Shout
definitely-
out, Cece.
Well, I also told my friend that I was doing this tonight. I don't think she's here.
Oh, that's okay.
He was here last time.
We always come back for the replay, right?
Yes.
Got it.
You can still shout them out.
Yeah. So.
And then you can tell you got to watch it because you may or may not have been shouted out.
Yeah. So I shout out my friend Serena.
All righty.
Good.
AllThatPat, are you gonna do a shout out, or are we just gonna head out for the night?
Gizmo.
I'm going to shout out to Gizmo. He is our furry pal. He's eating in the other room.
All
He
right.
is he's my heart.
There you go. All right. Well, I'm gonna do a shout out to Lady Cash for allowing Allie and myself to do this show tonight. So she hasn't been yelling at me, so it's all good.
And I'll do a shout out to Sarah Signorelli, who follow her on YouTube. Okay, you didn't even shout me out. Gizmo has your heart. But thank you for letting Cece join us tonight and for posting some comments in the chat.
Facebook and YouTube.
Yes.
Because she just wants to show herself.
Well, thank you all for joining us, and thank you to the special guests tonight. This was a lot of fun.
And we'll see you all the next time. Laters.
Peace.
Adios.
Hello.
Ice cream that's shaped like a TV.